So this is Unit 5. I don't even know what unit we're on. Unit 5, Worksheet 2, number 11. To graph these, we always do a table of values. But we do a kind of a weird table of values. We add that extra column on there for exponents, x and y. And the exponent column is always -1, 0, and 1. So that part is the same on every exponent graph. That's always going to be the case. So your first job is to figure out, well, which values of x would give me that as an exponent. So you got to look in the exponent and see, well, if the exponent is x plus 2, what should x be so that x plus 2 gives me -1? So you got to think a little bit here. So what value of x would work there? -3. Because -3 plus 2 would give me -1. If you get stuck, then maybe don't do -1 first. That's usually the hardest one to figure out. Do 0 first, because usually that's easy to figure out. -2 plus 2 would be 0. And -1 plus 2 would be 1. And again, we pick those so that we know what these graphs look like. They look something like that. And when we pick these 3 points, we end up getting like 3 points right at the turn. That's why we pick, that's why we get real specific about what we pick for our x's, to force our exponents to be those 3 so that we catch the turn. Otherwise, we end up with a flat part over here or a flat part up there. And so we want to pick them wisely. All right, downhill from here, now we're just plugging in. If I plug in -3 for x, I get -1 in the exponent. For the -1 would be 1/4. And then plus 3 would be 3 and 1/4. Right? There's no need to get a common denominator and make it an improper fraction, because then it would be 13/4. But 13/4 doesn't really help us graph. So leave it as 3 and 1/4. Plug in -2, I get 0 for the exponent. So that's 4 to the 0 plus 3. But anything to the 0 is 1. So 1 plus 3 is 4. Then if I plug in -1, I get 4 to the first, which is 4, plus 3 is 7. Now we're ready to graph. So -3, comma 3 and 1/4, -2, comma 4, and -1, 7. Again, if we pick our points wisely, we catch the turn for the exponent, for the graph. Domain is always all real numbers. Range and asymptote kind of go together because the range is bounded by the asymptote. So it doesn't really matter which one you ask first. They're always kind of match, or they're related. So the asymptote looks like it's at y equals 3, and the range is from 3 to infinity. You might remember that the number out there by itself, the plus 3, tells you the asymptote. Again, if you don't remember that, no big deal. It works out anyway, but that might be a helpful thing to remember. Transformations, we could have done this first, but plus 2 in the exponent, or plus 2 with x would be left 2, and then plus 3 at the end would be up 3. And, maybe we can't tell exactly, but yeah, that graph's been shifted to the left and up. So we'll usually ask that. Most people just do it at the end as a check on their graph. Questions on that one? Okay, again, the big deal is pick x values to make your exponent be negative 1, 0, and 1 so that you catch the key points of the graph. And the test will specify, show the 3 key points. So you can't just grab your calculator, type it in, and sketch the graph. I mean, that'll get you a point out of 8 or 10, but to get full credit, it will say, show the 3 key points, and that's the 3 that we're talking about.